and Hamas have reached a deal to end the war in Gaza. It comes after more than a year of war and many months of negotiations. The news had Palestinians celebrating in the streets of Gaza. Under the deal, Hamas could begin handing over hostages to Israel as early as Sunday. President Joe Biden says the ceasefire stems from a deal that he introduced last spring, but now President-elect Donald Trump is claiming that he should be given credit for the deal.
This is the exact framework of the deal I proposed back in May. Exact. And we got the world to endorse it. Thank you.
Who gets credit for this, Mr. President, you or Trump?
Is that a joke? Oh, thank you.
Phase one of the deal would last 42 days, with Hamas releasing 33 hostages, including women, the elderly, and sick. In exchange, Israel would set free dozens of Palestinian detainees. Israel would also pull back to Gaza's perimeters, and humanitarian aid would start flowing again, something that civilians in Gaza have been in desperate need for. This phase will also include the release of more hostages and rebuilding Gaza. However, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says the agreement with Hamas is still not complete and the final details are still being worked out. Now let's bring in CBS News Detroit's Terrell Bailey. Terrell, you've been talking with people in Metro Detroit who have ties to the area, even though a lot of people do, and this is an emotional time right now.
Yeah, and a situation that has been a long time in the making. We know Metro Detroit has thousands of Arab Americans living in the area. Now with this latest ceasefire, some say it's a step in the right direction, but more still needs to be done on both sides.
It is the beginning of a solution that should culminate in a Palestinian independent state to coexist with the Israelis.
After over 400 days of violence, some say Wednesday's ceasefire is only the start. Osama Siblani is a local leader in Dearborn. He believes a solution needs to be found so that both Israel and Palestine can coexist.
In a perfect world, that we will have a Palestinian state in the 22% of the original Palestine.
Now with the release of hostages, experts say there needs to be continued support for those who have been caught in the middle.
This ceasefire providing an important respite for Gazan civilians who they themselves have been victimized by Hamas, with the enhanced with the cutoff of flow of humanitarian aid.
The ADL of Michigan has been advocating for the release of hostages. Talking with their regional director, she finds Hamas responsible for the ongoing fighting.
It's Hamas. The responsibility for this conflict lays at the feet of Hamas.
The war played a role in the recent presidential election. Many activists hit the streets in opposition of voting for Harris over she and President Biden's handling of the issue. Now, some believe the Biden administration shouldn't take credit for this latest deal.
The casualties, 200,000 people dead, children mostly. I mean, I would not give them one bit of credit for this. If they wanted to do it, they would have done it a long time ago.
A serious statement for sure. Now, talking with Farah, she says this entire situation has taught her that more Arab Americans need to take leadership roles so that they can make decisions and not have decisions made for them. The 2026 midterm elections are coming up, so only time will tell if we see a change.
Yeah, absolutely, and we're just happy to see at least a glimmer of hope.
Yeah.
Terrell, thanks.